everybody? Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today we're going to recap this past Saturday's lightweight WBC title fight between King Ryan Garcia and Cool Hand Luke Campbell. And we're going to do that with the reference to our preview video, which we shot the week before, and talk about what we predicted would happen, what actually happened, and then talk about what we think will happen in the future. So I know you're going to like what you see in this video, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can get the updates when Rob and myself post new videos and give you all the content that we got going on in the fight world. So in our preview video, we talked about the skills of Garcia, the skills of Luke Campbell, and what we thought was going to happen was that we'd have a really tight boxing match between two well-rounded fighters coming to a close decision for Ryan Garcia, with the X factors being Garcia's speed, combination punching, and punching power. What we thought would make this fight close is, one, Luke Campbell's durability. We thought that he would be able to counter Ryan Garcia, especially as the rounds got on and started to get later on in the fight, as Garcia started to get a little tired. And there were also technical flaws that we laid out in that preview video that we thought that Luke Campbell would be able to take advantage of and be able to score points as the fight went on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that preview video down in the description so you can watch that in its entirety to, get the full picture of that. But let's talk about the actual fight. So Ryan Garcia was able to use his speed and power to quickly gain a lead in this fight. He was able to beat Campbell to the punch a lot, which we thought he was going to do. He was able to push Campbell back. But Campbell being a natural counterpuncher, that's not something that is unheard of. First round, a lot of feeling out. Ryan Garcia coming out, really trying to excite the crowd by throwing heavy combinations, walking forward, throwing his jab, and Campbell taking account of everything that's going on and trying to counter effectively. We got some major fireworks in the second round. It was more of the same from the first until Luke Campbell throws a right hand, dips down, and throws his left overhand and catches Ryan Garcia square on the jaw and knocks him flat. This was a huge surprise, drew a rise out of the crowd, and this is what everyone wanted to see. Everyone wanted to see what would happen if Ryan Garcia had a bit of adversity during this fight. They wanted to see him tested. They wanted to see if he got knocked down, would he be able to survive it? If he got into a tight contest, would he be able to squeak it out? Now, in our preview video, we thought it'd be tight. We thought he'd be getting caught, but not dropped. But one of our commenters, shout out to my man OG, actually asked, do you think that a stoppage is in the cards? And, with those technical flaws that I'm going to go more into depth about later on, I said, yes, it is possible. And we were really close to seeing it at that point. Garcia went down hard. He had one of those Family Guy falls where his arm is behind his back. And it looked really bad at the moment. But he was able to compose himself, make it through that round. And then by the third round, he's back pressuring Luke Campbell again. He never really got on the back foot for long. It almost reminded me of a very smaller version of when Floyd Mayweather fought Shane Mosley and he got rocked heavily, made an adjustment, And from that point, Mosley was unable to capitalize off that huge round he had. So the rounds go on. Garcia hurts Campbell bad with a left hook and right to the body right at the end of the 4th round. In the 5th round, he comes out guns blazing, going for the stoppage, doesn't get it. Looks like he kind of blows his wad a little bit and pulls back. However, still in control, still pushing forward, but towards the middle and the end of that round, Luke Campbell's able to get a few more counters in. In the 6th round, we know that's when the hammer was dropped, and Garcia finishes him with a hellacious body shot that turned Luke Campbell pink. When you see a guy get hit with a shot and they turn pink, they're not getting up. He pretty much flushed all of Luke Campbell's blood. Like it was like he just shut down everything at that moment, and Campbell could not respond in time, get up, and continue to fight. So Garcia gets a huge knockout win. So this is what we saw in the fight. So one of the really, really important things was that in the preview video, I talked about the defensive flaws of Ryan Garcia, where one, he keeps his chin really high. That was very evident in that knockdown. He did something reminiscent of some of my older fight fans will remember Hakeem Rahman versus Lennox Lewis 2, where his defense was basically putting his arms straight out and hoping that, Lennox wouldn't be able to hit him, and Lennox overhand left right knocks him out. This one, Luke Campbell throws the overhand left over Garcia's outstretched hands. Another thing that led to this was we talked about during the preview video where Ryan Garcia's legs are locked out a lot. He stands way too tall, and it limits his mobility because, his knees aren't in a more fluid position because he's standing straight up. You can almost sometimes see that they are locked, and his movement is not as fluid as it could be if he was. So all of those factors led to that knockdown and quite a few counters from Luke Campbell. However, he just didn't have that pop to finish the job. One of the things, I talked with Rob about this fight, and, he mentioned that the other guys that dropped Campbell, Linares, Lomachenko, were smaller men moving up to the division. Ryan Garcia, being at 135 his entire career, is much bigger than both of those men. So it's a testament to Luke Campbell that he was able to drop him, but that's why, we have the weight divisions, and it's as prestigious as it is to have a lighter fighter come up and dominate in the higher weight classes, because weight does matter. When you get a smaller guy hitting you with certain shots, it's not going to feel the same as when you got a big guy hitting you with that same shot with higher speed, higher power, and more weight behind it. It just is a difference. Like, I know from hitting bigger people myself and then having bigger people hit me, it's a difference. It's a difference. So Ryan Garcia, being a more natural lightweight, was putting a lot more pain on Luke Campbell than Linares, Lomachenko, and Ivan Mendy. I forgot his name in the preview video, but I remembered it. Actually, I did. I just I didn't want to mess it up. But either way, so that brings me to future. What happens with Luke Campbell? Luke Campbell is still a contender. He may not be a championship caliber guy, but he's always going to be in the hunt. Now, at the top, you got plenty of guys who are really large lightweights that are all eventually going to end up at 140. So if he hangs around long enough, he may be able to snag a title. We don't know. But Garcia has his pick of the upper echelon of the lightweight division. He is the mandatory for Devin Haney. He called out Gervonta Davis. Teofimo Lopez has the majority of the belts. Those are three really big fights right there that could be made right now. Now, there's a long way between, them stepping in the ropes and getting it done, and the call outs and the speculations on how those fights will go. But we're going to play that game. So he called out Tank Davis. Tank Davis, while being, coming up from 130, dynamite puncher. If Ryan Garcia does not correct those flaws, I don't see it going well for him in that fight. Another thing that I did not mention earlier that would come into play against a Devin Haney and a Teofimo Lopez or Vasil Lomachenko or Jorge Linares, if they make that fight, because they were planning on making that fight before the pandemic hit and they end up scrapping those plans, is his failure to establish dominant foot position against Luke Campbell. The entire fight, Luke Campbell had the advantageous foot position of having his foot outside of Ryan Garcia's. And you saw it as evidence several times where they stepped on each other's feet. And one time the commentators made a joke like, Ryan Garcia did a Euro step. No, he just stepped on Campbell's foot, tripped, but still was able to throw the punch. Against someone like Lomachenko, that is death. Not literal death, but that's going to end up being a very long night of being turned and getting caught in angles all night. Teofimo Lopez, same thing. He runs great angles, even though he's an orthodox fighter. And Gervonta Davis, being a southpaw, that's something that will be a factor in that fight also. So he has a really good trainer that in the Reynosos that I think that they can correct those flaws. But these are ingrained into his style, so it's going to be very difficult for him to do it, but it can be done. Just look at how far Canelo has come in just a few short years since he fought Floyd Mayweather, and the learning that he took from that point. Learning from Canelo, learning from the Reynosos, Ryan Garcia has a really high ceiling. So it is highly possible that he can correct those flaws and be a multi-division champ as he, matures in the game, because he's very young. And so he has a lot of time to get the ship together before those exposed flaws are at his detriment and in the result of losses. So that is all I have. I'm getting up to about 15 minutes here, but I hope you all enjoyed and learned something from what we talked about here. Hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know how you saw the fight going, how you think Davis and Garcia is going to go. The fight between Haney and Garcia has been ordered by the WBC, so that fight could be next. Let me know how you think that fight's going to go. Hit us up on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Capital of Combat. Hit us up on email, capitalcombat@gmail.com, and we'll see you in the next video. Till then, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.